All right, let's look at the exit status. What are the exit status? Every time a command is ran in a shell, or in, I would say, let's go one step back in Linux, it always has a status associated with it. If it is successful, it will always give a status of 0. And there are statuses from all the way from 0 to 255. Every status has a different meaning. These are the actual error codes, or the numbers that developers associated with the different meanings. So every developers or every application have a different meaning. But for us, we only gonna focus on a very few statuses, and that is number one is 0, which is yes or no if the command that we ran previously is successful or not. If it is not, then it will give a message 1, exit status 1, which is known as a minor problem. Or number 2, it's a serious trouble, or everything else, which is exit status from 3 to 255, everything else. So why do we need actually exit status in our scripting? Good question. Well, when we have to do a lot of comparisons in our shell scripting following these lessons, and in comparison, you need to know if your command ran. So if it did ran and it was successful, then do this. Otherwise, don't do that. As we learned that there are statement scripts, if, else, while statements. Every one of those scripts or statements do need some kind of status before proceed to the next execution. So let me show you real quick by logging into my Linux machine. I am logged in as myself, and I am in my home directory. So now let's see if I run a command ls -l, and it ran successfully, right? It gave me everything that I was looking for. But if I wanted to know actually the status of my preceding command, I would do echo $, and then the question mark. This is telling the shell or the bash that what was the command that ran previously, and tell me whether that command was successful or not. If I get a 0 return, there you go. It means it did run, right? Because I wanted to get a listing of all my directory files and directories in this directory, and it did give me, and that's why I have 0. Let's take another command. Let's say I wanted to do which directory I'm in. I'm in home. I have solved directory. Perfect. It ran. And if I do echo dollar question mark again, it will give me 0 again, that it was successful. What if I run a command, let's say pwdd, right? This command, there's no such command. So if I run that, it says bash command not found, similar command is pwd, give me a recommendation. But anyway, the command was not successful. So now if I ask the shell whether the last command was successful or not, I will run the same command, echo dollar question mark, and it is giving me error code 127, which is different from 0. So as I said, anything from 0 to 255 is not is it is error codes, but anything above 0 is all error codes. Anything that is 0 is successful. Now, when we create a script, so let's say I go into, I create a script, I call it test um, code, just that. And I will I will declare my shell, and now I will not define all those stuff that I know you already know, since this is a very small script. I'll just do echo hello, and then I will ask if the command was successful, and I will save it. Test code. Now when I run that, you'll see I'm getting the hello, and with that I'm getting the 0. It means it was successful. Same thing if I wanted to do something else. Let's say if I go back to test code, and this time I will do, instead of echo, I'll just replace that with iki. So there is no such command as icky. So anyway, let's see what the error message comes up now. I'll run it again, and now it's giving me the same error message that it was not successful. Same way if I try ls minus LLLL, and oh, it does exist actually. Let's say ls minus z. There is so many options, right? ls dash 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 p. Okay, so there you go. See, unrecognized option. So now let's see what the error code is. The error code is 2. See, it's different, and that is about error code that shows serious trouble. So this is about you have not defined the option successfully. Now let's run another script really quick. I'm gonna create that script. I'll call it vi exit code script, and I will define the shell, and this time I wanted to make sure I run ls minus l home iofzol / check. This is the command I wanted to do. So what it's gonna do is gonna do ls minus l, and it's gonna only find out if home iofzol and there's a file name check exist. Okay, so now I have to define the statement if dollar question mark, which is the command that I ran, equal to 0, which means if the command ran successfully, then do what? Then echo file exist. Else echo file does not exist. And phi. And let's run it and give executable permission. Now let's run the script, and it will say cannot access home iofzol check no such file and directory. Then it says, of course, file does not exist because the error code does not match 0. So if I create a file check in my home directory, so I'm in home directory, I'm just going to do touch and check. The file is there, right? So just verify it, check, and it is there, right? So now when I run that script again that I just created, and it did give me that file with my ls-l command, and it says file exist. So that's why it is. That's why the exit status importance is there. So this way you could actually associate each code with some kind of meaning. So developers like C++ or other developers like object-oriented based programmers or people who write operating systems, they are the one they heavily use these codes because these codes make a lot of difference. But in our class or in our lessons going from this point on, we're mostly going to use 0 to make sure if it exists or not. And that's why most of the time the system administrator engineers use in their everyday Linux scripting languages. So try it out and see how you could create different scripts with error codes and what the error code gives you.